This is Kasim with Solutions 8, and I'm going to do a quick review of Hotjar. Just so you know, I'm coming into these reviews because I want to review Hotjar and True Conversion. I'm coming into these reviews with a little bit of a bias, a little bit of a prejudice, and I'm rooting for True Conversion. And there's a reason. We just came back from San Diego, actually. We were at the Traffic and Conversion Summit, which is put on by Digital Marketer. We're Digital Marketer certified partners, and it turns out that Digital Marketer is the group behind True Conversion. So being partners and wanting them to win at all things they do because we love them, I'm hoping it's awesome. And the demo I saw was amazing. Now, I actually can't show you True Conversion today because I just installed it today. So I can tell you the installation was really easy, but we're still collecting data. True Conversion review is going to come after, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Right now, I'm going to show you Hotjar. Now, Hotjar is what we left MouseFlow for. I used to use MouseFlow. I loved MouseFlow. I thought it was amazing. The reason we left MouseFlow is because from a scalability standpoint, as an agency, their pricing in my mind is cost prohibitive. They want more money for every new site that you install their tool on, which may or may not be fair. I don't know. I'm not here to argue economics, but I'll tell you that for me, we have a large bucket of clients, and we need a tool like this on all of those clients. And if there's something like Hotjar that says, hey, we're going to charge you per view, and you can put it on as many sites as you want, then I'd rather go do that. And so that's what we did. So we jumped ship over to Hotjar. So far, I've been pretty happy. I'll tell you that MouseFlow it's a little more polished, just to be frank, but Hotjar gets it done. It covers 80% of everything that we want done at a fraction of the cost. So I'll take that all day, every day. I'm going to jump into heat maps because that's usually what people highlight first and foremost. One of the things that bugs me about Hotjar's heat maps, it's not an insurmountable issue, but they make you define the heat maps you want up front. So you have to go in and say, I want heat maps for these pages, where MouseFlow is going to make heat maps for every single page that the tool is installed on. It's not as big an issue as I thought it would be. When I figured this out in the very beginning, I thought this was going to be a nightmare. But what I realized is we only look at a handful of pages for every client anyway. Some clients, obviously, a handful means 20 or 30, but there's a predefined number of pages that you typically look at, and there's usually not a ton of surprises. I will tell you, however, that if you ever put yourself in a position where you say, oh, wow, I really need to see the heat map for that page, if you're using Hotjar and you haven't defined that page, you're SOL, you don't have the data. So let's take a look at, I'm sure I just spiked the mic there, I'm sorry, I broke your ears. I'm going to look at the heat map for the home page just because I have some stuff to say. One of the things you'll notice is it doesn't render right. This is what my page actually looks like. Ta-da! And this is what Hotjar is making the page look like. And I think it has to do with the way the WordPress theme renders, specifically when it's being queried by a tool like this. So we're using Avada. Avada has a hero image that hovers above the menu and it renders differently. This doesn't bother me at all because I understand what's going on, so I just scroll down and I can still glean value from the data. If you're one of those OCD people that needs everything that you see to be exactly the way it's going to show on the screen, then this isn't for you. But to be honest, there's no tool for you because this is always going to happen. You're always going to see little idiosyncratic issues. Just on the note of heat mapping, by the way, if you're not using a heat maps tool, you have to. You just have to. There's no, I can't make this point any more directly than I can. I'm hoping I'm not being subtle. This is information you're never, ever going to get from analytics. Give you an example. A few of our happy clients section on our website, this was an afterthought. I almost didn't even put this in here. And I come to find out that this is the single most engaged button on my homepage. So I never would have known that had I not had heat mapping utilities to help. I also think it's really interesting that people are hovering over our copyright, all rights reserved stuff. Maybe they're trying to see if we have a privacy policy. I don't know. But heat mapping software is an absolute prerequisite. Again, you have to preload it on Hotjar and let it know what tools or what pages you want to heat map tracked for. I'll tell you where Hotjar really shines is in their recordings. So when you're looking at the page recordings, their dashboard is amazing. I love the at a glance. It's super cool. You can see where the user's coming from geographically, which is helpful. If you're only serving a certain geography, then you can just filter that right out. With the pages, they'll show you kind of the start and the end of the funnel. So the landing page that they came in from, and then the page that they left from, which is, I think, really helpful, especially when you try to build that marketing narrative. So if you're marketing, you're doing targeted lead generation, especially if you're doing organic optimization, this is really, I think, an important utility available to you because you get to see what pages are catalyzing the user's engagement, and then what pages are they're losing that user. And sometimes a loss is a good thing, right? Like if you lose a bunch of users from a thank you page, that means that you converted them. But if you lose a bunch of users from an informational page, that means that your information is crap, or you're saying something they don't like. Or maybe you're qualifying them correctly and they're leaving without converting because they're not the right clients. But either way, you at a glance get to kind of see where they're coming in, where they're leaving, the number of pages that they visited, the time on site, of course, the device type, desktop, mobile, tablet, etc. I don't really pay a ton of attention to browser, to be honest. And I think that's because we did a really good job with browser optimization. So it doesn't make a huge impact for me. But if you're, if you've got an app or a widget or an extension or whatever, this is a cool at a glance. I do pay attention to OS. And that's because our experience has been people on Apple devices spend more money and they end up being closer to our target demographic. We're looking for CEOs and CMOs and people running a company, and they use Apple. I don't know why. I use a PC. No judgment. It's nice to be able to see how long ago the interaction took place. And of course, you can play the video, which I'm going to do in a second. But first, let me draw your attention to the filters on the right-hand side. Super intuitive. Everything you would ever want. If I built these filters myself, they would look just like this. So all the stuff that you want to be able to filter by, including what, show me all the people that started on this page and ended on this page and at some point also visited this page. Like, you can build that narrative, filter it, find everybody that kind of matches it, and then start to review their sessions so you can build common denominators in terms of what's working, what isn't working with your funnel. The thing I like about Hotjar, and this is a continued narrative throughout their entire sales process, is they're focused on the funnel, which is cool. Some of these tools just give you raw data and say, good luck to you. Hotjar kind of tries to contextualize that into a funnel paradigm, which is really super helpful. So I'm going to show you this video because I went and looked at these before I started recording, and I think this is the best one. Their video recording tool is awesome sauce. So it has all these little, I don't know if you can even see these, but these little tick marks here on the bottom. A tick mark is a page scroll. So it shows you where they're getting super active on your page, which is important for you to know. And these guys went to town on our site. I mean, they just went almost to every page. The yellow dot shows you a new page. So when they hit the yellow dot, that means they've gone to a new page. So if you want to start to test or see their kind of browsing behavior, Hotjar is nice because you don't have to watch all 30 minutes of this person's interaction. I can see that they went to a new page over here again, and the red dot means a click. And what's really cool about the clicks is you get to identify user engagement and user action. And like down here, I see a bunch of red clicks. There's a bunch of red clicks back to back. Now, what that tells me is either they're using utility like our customer utility that lets them page through it, or something's not working and they're frustrated and they're clicking the daylights out of it because they're trying to make it work. And I don't know which one that is. Oh, they're going through our testimonials. Okay. So the at a glance is awesome and I love it. They also do a really good job over here of kind of showing you like, hey, here's what happened, and then you can just jump to these sections. You can create notes if you want to. I don't really see me using this section, to be honest with you. Our project managers are kind of individualized, so one person handles one client, and when they share this information with the client, they usually take it off of Hotjar. I don't anticipate us ever, logging a client in and asking them to look at our notes. The session info stuff is helpful though. So I'm going to back out of that. I'm super impressed with their recording. I just think it's fantastic. And to be honest, if True Conversion does win, then they've got a pretty formidable adversary here because these guys did a really good job. I don't pay attention more often to one-page visitors unless they have longer session times. So if I've got a one-page visit, usually it just means that the content wasn't compelling. So like if I play this one, this guy's going to land on my page and then just bounce. And so I really want to use Hotjar, I want to use screen recording, and I want to use heat mapping in order to identify points of loss, adequate points of entry, what's working that I don't even know is working, what tools are attracting people that I'm not aware of, like that sort of thing. So the more time you can prove on a page, the better. I'm going to jump down to the funnels. We're not really using the funnel section, to be honest. I kind of built one just a few minutes ago so I could have something to show for the video, but the idea here is brilliant. What they allow you to do is define a funnel and then view the efficacy of that funnel according to how Hotjar thinks a conversion is taking place. Now realize for a moment that a conversion doesn't mean that they've actually filled out the form. So what I have here, the funnel I have here is our homepage going to our contact page. And that's because if you look at my homepage, my Start Here button goes straight to the contact page. And the idea here is that if somebody's going to convert on the hero image, it means that they have high commercial intent. We might as well give them the opportunity to give us their information without putting them through the whole rigmarole of content. You may agree or disagree with that. I don't care because I'm an amazing marketer and we do this all really well. That was so arrogant. I'm so sorry. I do care. Please tell me. Hit me up in the comments. But so our primary lead generation tools aren't on our main website. It's all landing pages and funnels, as they should be, right? So this is more of a digital brochure, but as a brochure, we want them to go from our homepage to our contact page. So that's our primary call to action. Well, when I build that funnel, I see we have about a 16.5% conversion from homepage to contact page, which I don't mind. I don't think that's a bad conversion. I'm actually, to be honest with you, pretty happy. If you were to say, hey, 15% of the people are going to hit start here. Now, you could argue the point that start here is a little vague and ambiguous, and that would be okay. But the fact that we're getting 16.5 people over to our contact page is pretty good. Now, what I should do is I should put another layer in the funnel. And actually, I'm going to do this right now while you're watching so you can see what I mean. So if I come in here and say test, here's what I'm doing is I'm putting another step in the funnel to our thank you page. And the reason I'm doing this is because what Hotjar will be able to do now is tell us exactly where people are coming through on our thank you page. And I actually just caught an error on our site, and if you see it, more power to you. And if you don't, I'm not going to bring it to your attention because it's embarrassing. But now I've got a 3-step funnel. And now this 3-step funnel gives us the opportunity to, oh, it's generating the funnel, please wait. Gives me the opportunity to see how many people that went to my homepage, went to the contact page and filled the contact form out. This is cool. This is a pretty unique, I haven't seen it before. I don't think MouseFlow does it. If they do, I didn't play with it. I hope True Conversion does it. That'll be awesome. But I really like the fact that this is a part of their overall tracking and data collection paradigm because it's nifty and it's something that we'll definitely use. The forms I'm not going to use, to be honest with you. I don't want to take forms out of Hotjar because we need to integrate with so many things. It's not even funny. You know, from Infusionsoft to MailChimp and Zapier and all this stuff. I need to be able to pull, and building forms in here is going to be difficult. It's cool that it's there, but I don't know. I don't anticipate us using this much, if at all, unless there's something about this I don't understand. The polls in the survey is probably not exceptionally applicable for my business per se, but I do see some clients that I know for a fact that I would use this for. And like I said, the pricing, you can't beat it. It's hard to get this close. I don't know how they afford to do what they do because they're providing a lot of value for not a whole lot of money. So I'm pretty impressed with Hotjar. Like I said, I'm actually rooting against them. I've got True Conversion loaded. And we're going to review True Conversion as soon as I've got enough data to go over some stuff. True Conversion is as competitively priced as Hotjar. Actually, I think it's a little bit cheaper, to be honest with you, but we don't want to play the price game to that extent. I think scalability and price is really important. That's what pisses me off about MouseFlow. It's not that they're expensive per se. It's that the pricing doesn't allow for a scalable model. So these guys charging by page view, not caring about how many sites you're on, that's scalable for me. It makes sense that they would, make more money as more views go up. But MouseFlow charging per site, well, you've got some sites that have very nominal page views, and the fact that I have to pay as much for a site like that as I do for a site that has a ton of page views, I just don't think makes a whole lot of sense. So, like I said, rooting for True Conversion. Can't wait to see how it plays out. But Hotjar is a pretty formidable adversary. So if you're using it or considering it, it's worth looking at. I'm not an affiliate for any of these things. I don't care. I just want your attention. Oh, and that brings so I wrote a book called The 7 Critical Principles of Effective Digital Marketing. And if you think I've got some interesting stuff to say, then you should probably buy my book. That's all I'm saying. And I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or confessions, hit me up in the comments. Feel free to share, subscribe. I'm not a Hotjar guy, so don't ask me your Hotjar questions because I may not know them. I've used it for like 48 hours and I like it. That was it. Talk to you guys later.